Hello, good afternoon, and welcome to the Commentary Hub's alternative audio coverage of Brentford against Crystal Palace in the Premier League. I'm your alternative host, Nicholas Jones, and we are some 10 minutes away from kick-off. So now's the time to fetch in our commentator, Paul James, as we go to talk about some of the major news stories in the build-up to this game. Paul, good afternoon. Quite a bit of interesting cases in the transfer market between both Brentford and Crystal Palace, it has to be said.
Yeah, Brentford, obviously, they've had to sell goalkeeper David Raya on a permanent signing to Arsenal for 31.9 million euros, and also Finn Stevens went to Brighton for 600,000. But they've spent far more than they've brought in with Igor Thiago, who is not in the lineup today. He spent 33 million euros on him from Club Bruges, and Fabio Carvalho, 23.4 million from Liverpool. So Carvalho is on the bench today, but Igor Thiago is not in the lineup at all. Crystal Palace, their major transfer business in the summer was selling. Michael Olise went to Bayern Munich for a whopping 53 million euros. But they only brought in two players, Chadi Riyad and Ismail Assar. Both spent 15 million on each. Now, Ismail Assar starts on the bench tonight, along with Riyad. Both of them could make an appearance today.
Okay, I think you also missed out a player. Daichi Kamada is also one of Crystal Palace's new signing,
and he knows Oliver from Lazio.
And he knows Oliver Glasner, having been at Eintracht Frankfurt in the past.
Yeah, he starts today.
That's right, good. But for Brentford, like you say, with the injury for Igor Thiago, things are looking absolutely tough for the Bees before the season's even begun. And if that wasn't enough, they had a rather poor pre-season, winning only 1 out of 5. Whereas Crystal Palace, they've had a much better pre-season, winning 3 out of 6.
Well, I mean, it's pre-season. A lot of people talk about pre-season. I think it does play into the players' minds. But I think you've got to take pre-season for what it is. It's a chance, a tune-up and a warm-up for the players so that they can get themselves physically fit again and get themselves back into match fitness and be ready to start the season. I don't think too much reading can be taken into it. I think, obviously, Brentford today, no Ivan Toney, but I think you've also got to consider the fact that they did finish very, very close to relegation last season, 16th place. One might argue they might have gone down had Sheffield United, Burnley and Luton not been so bad last season.
Speculation surrounding Toney and also Mark Gay and Eberici Eze. Will they stay? Will they go?
Well, I think the most interesting one here is Ivan Toney. He's not in the lineup. To my knowledge, he's not injured. So that's usually a very anonymous sign, whereas Mark Gahey and Eberici Eze are in the lineup today.
Indeed, speculation surrounding Ivan Toney. Rumours are recent that he's been linked with a move to Saudi Arabia, and also Mark Gay been targeted by Newcastle United. Palace have so far been successful at repealing their bids, and we now turn our attention to Crystal Palace. Oliver Glasner, amazing what he did since becoming the manager in February, taking the Eagles, I should say, up to an amazing 10th position, their highest ever finish. He'll be looking to build on his reputation.
Yeah, he's done an amazing job since he's come in to the Crystal Palace team. Now, it's his first full season this season, so this is really going to be a look at where we stand with Oliver Glasner and him as a manager. Because when you come in, you have that new manager buzz, but I think this season will be the real test for Oliver Glasner, knowing that he's lost, a player in Elise, because he would have depended on heavily Eze and Gay rumoured to go too. And if they both know, where does that leave him? We've only got a few weeks left in the transfer window.
Okay, Brentford unbeaten. Brentford unbeaten in their opening matches for the past 3 seasons. Will they be able to build on that? We shall see. So the teams are now gathering around at the foot of the tunnel. We're just about ready for them to come out. So let's hand over to our match commentator Paul James. So take us through the action and the lineups.
Thank you, Nick. Welcome everybody. The Premier League is back. And we are at the Gtech Community Stadium to bring you coverage of Crystal Palace versus Brentford. Brentford, well, as Nick mentioned earlier on, no Ivan Toney. Missing from the lineup today, rumours speculating about his future. Let's take a look at the starting lineups, though. For Brentford, they have Mark Flecken in goal, Christopher Asia, Ethan Pinnock, Nathan Collins, Mads Royslev, Vitaly Janelt, Matthias Jensen, Christian Norgard, the captain, Kevin Schade, Johan Visser, and Brian Embuemo. For Crystal Palace, well, Oliver Glasner lines up as follows. Dean Henderson in goal. Mark Gahey, he wears the captain's armband today. Joachim Anderson, Chris Richards, Tyreek Mitchell, Will Hughes, Adam Wharton, Daniel Munoz, Eberici Eze, and Daichi Kamada, the new signing from Lazio, was brought in on a free, and Jean-Philippe Mateta. The substitutes for Brentford here are the goalkeeper, Hakan Valdemarsson, Ben Mee, Fabio Carvalho, the new signing for Brentford, Frank Onyeka, Yiho Yamaliuk, Mikkel Damsgaard, Miles Peart-Harris, Ryan Trevet, and Keane Lewis Potter. For Crystal Palace, Sam Johnson, Nathaniel Klein, Chadi Riyad, $50 million euro signing, Jefferson Lerma, Jeffrey Schlupp, Cheka Doucouré, Ismail Assar, 15 million also from Marseille, Jordan Ayew, and Odson Edward line up for Crystal Palace today. Our referee is Sam Barrett. He's age 31 from Huddersfield, with Neil Davies, Wade Smith on the lines. Fourth official, Tim Robinson. VAR is Peter Banks and Eddie Smart, and we've already seen some VAR controversy in the first weekend of the season. There has been some changes. Obviously, the Premier League have introduced a new Twitter feed that supposedly gives you reasons for VAR decision making. You can follow that. And also the fact that the decision making is supposed to be quicker this time. So we'll see whether any of this stuff comes to light. The two teams have met each other 44 times in their history. Brentford have won 14, drawn 12, and lost 18. So Palace just have the edge in that department. And, well, we can see the players gathering together to the centre circle. It's a new season, a new chance for both teams to kind of make a stamp on the season. Brentford struggled last season. Thomas Frank remains at the helm. Oliver Glasner's, this is his first full season in charge of the Eagles. And, we'll see what he can do with this squad that he has got. As the capacity crowd at the Gtech Community Stadium. The players just doing their final preparations. Brentford are in their red and white jerseys, black shorts, and Crystal Palace in their yellow jerseys with blue trim, yellow shorts. And the referee is just going to get the players together for the start of this game. And Dean Henderson just making his way to the goal. A lot of pressure on Jean-Philippe Mateta this season. I've already had some comments in the comment section. Media, radio, jingles, and gaming. Hi, Paul and Nick. Nice to see football back on a Sunday. Ross says, good afternoon, all. Sunderland 4, Sheffield Wednesday 0. Wow. Well, let's see whether we are in for an exciting game today. We certainly hope so. We've got two teams here that can bring the goals. Incidentally, today's not the only game today. Later on this afternoon, Chelsea and Manchester City. Russ Vernon will bring you that game as we are about to get kickoff underway, which Palace will have. They will be attacking the goal to our left here at the Gtech Community Stadium. Will Hughes is standing over this. We're just waiting for Sam Barrett. He'll just take the knee. First weekend of the season. They take the knee in the stand against racism. And the kickoff will get underway here as Eberechi Eze is on the ball now. Eze drops the ball right back there to Joachim Andersen. Andersen plays the ball long over the halfway line. It's just headed forward there by Roycelev and picked up here in the midfield by Janelt. And Janelt plays the ball back to the goalkeeper, Mark Flecken. And he's just going to hold up the ball right now. Crystal Palace ended the season finishing in 10th place last season, a really good finish considering the position they were in when Glasner took over. And there's a ball down the left-hand side now, and the cross comes into the middle, and it's put behind for a corner, and it's Mark Gahey, the England international, who gets on the end of that. And the ball was played forward there. Kevin Schade got the cross in. It looked like he was tight in terms of the offside, but he gets the cross in, and Mark Gahey deals with that very, very well. But it's going to be the first corner of the day, and it's going to be Brentford, and it's going to be the number 8 for Brentford, Matthias Jensen, to take this corner. In the middle there is Visser, Jensen, all lurking with intent. It swung in, and it just headed away that time by Andersen. Picked up comfortably in the midfield, though, by Jensen, who goes all the way back to the goalkeeper, Mark Flecken, who's out almost by the halfway line, and he launches the ball long downfield. It's flicked on there and picked up down this near side by Jensen again, but he puts the ball out of play, and it may have come off a Crystal Palace player. Indeed, it has. It's a throw-in for Brentford. And, well, they've got almost level with the Palace penalty area down the left-hand side, and he just throws that ball back there to Janelt. Janelt lifts the ball over Mitchell there and gives it to the number 8, Matthias Jensen again, but cutting across and making the challenge that time was Chris Richards. Good work by the USA international. Throw in again. Taken quickly. Here's Jensen again. Just tries to skip away from Richards this time. Finally, it's cleared away by Adam Wharton. Another one of the England contingent from the Euros. And the ball is played forward again, but it'll be picked up by Joachim Andersen. And in an offside position that time was Christian Norgard. And it's going to be a free kick to Crystal Palace. And, well, as we take a look at the Brentford crowd in this London derby, Brentford are looking at maybe a much higher finish this season. They haven't really added much to their lineup in terms of transfers. They've picked up Igor Thiago that's injured and Fabio Carvalho that's on the bench. But in terms of any really major moves, nothing really. The ball is now picked up by Roycelev. Roycelev plays the ball forward, but Will Hughes challenging in there. Oh, that's a really good ball there to Brian Mbeumo. Mbeumo tries to play the ball forward, but that is a good interception that time by Gahey. And it's cleared away and headed out of play that time by Tyreek Mitchell. And it's going to be a throw into Brentford midway inside the Crystal Palace half of the field. And the ball is launched forward there. Looks like it came off a Crystal Palace player, but coming in at the back there and picking it up was Ethan Pinnock. And the ball is played forward. It's headed out that time by Richards. And Palace now on the break. And down the right-hand side there is the number 12, Daniel Munoz, but he was not able to really do anything with it, and he ends up putting the ball wide. And but it came off a Brentford player, and we're going to have a corner. And with 4 minutes gone here, it's Brentford 0, Crystal Palace 0. As Crystal Palace get their first corner of the game inside the first 5 minutes. Mark Gahey just organising things. Been given the captain's armband today, a statement of intent perhaps by Oliver Glasner in making sure he stays at Selhurst Park. The corner is going to be taken by Wharton. It's swung in and the Flecken gets a punch on it. It's headed out again by Mbeumo. Picked up here by Richards. He gives the ball to Joachim Andersen. Joachim Andersen launches the ball in looking for Will Hughes. Flecken struggles with that, and Will Hughes was not able to really get anything on it. But the ball came into the box here. It was flicked in by Joachim Andersen. It looks like it took a deflection. And, Mark Flecken looked less than convincing there. He may well have been able to pick that up. It was a deflection, and it was a deflection by Kevin Schade. So he might have well have been able to pick that up. But in the end, it just came off Adam Wharton and went, Will Hughes rather, and went behind for a goal kick. And the ball is played now to down the left-hand side to Christopher Asia. Asia launches the ball into the box, and it's headed out that time by Joachim Andersen. It's picked up and cleared forward by the number 3, Tyreek Mitchell, and headed out of play. It's going to be a throw-in. And the ball is picked up there for the throw-in by Tyreek Mitchell. Does a quick 1-2 with Eze. Will Hughes just flicks the ball forward. Nipping in there, though, is Nathan Collins to put the ball out of play. And it's going to be a throw-in for Crystal Palace. Still 0-0 here. And we've had 6 minutes gone at the Gtech Community Stadium for first game at all, actually, for Brentford in the Premier League this season. They're obviously looking to get off to a really bright start. Here's Tyreek Mitchell, gives the ball to Will Hughes. Tried to find Mateta, but the ball went out of play. It's going to be a throw-in. There's Oliver Glasner. And Eze. Oh, nice flick by Eze to Kamada. Kamada plays the ball out to the right-hand side to Munoz. Munoz swings the ball in, looking for Mateta. Breaks loose to Tyreek Mitchell, and his shot is just skewed wide. Oh, it was Jean-Philippe Mateta's header that flicked up into the air, and it broke loose for Tyreek Mitchell. And that has to go down really as a chance for Crystal Palace. Munoz just launched the ball into the box, and Mateta just gets his head on it, and it just broke loose. Perhaps Tyreek Mitchell had a little bit more time than he realised. Wharton now tries to play the ball through to Jean-Philippe Mateta, but it goes through to the goalkeeper, Mark Flecken, and he releases it quickly. And it's Nathan Collins, plays the ball forward to Schade. Schade under pressure there from Richards. Richards wins the ball back and keeps it in play. And the ball is played forward there by Will Hughes. And here's Eze. Eze's got options left and right. He decides to try to play the ball to Kamada. Kamada gives the ball to Will Hughes. Hughes holds the ball up and drops the ball back there to Wharton. Good ball by Wharton to Eze, but Eze wasn't awake to it. And Nathan Collins clears the ball, but it bounces off Visser and up in the air. Trying to head the ball down now is Will Hughes. Finds Eze again, but just nipping in one more time is Nathan Collins. And he puts the ball out of play. And is that going to be a throw-in? Well, no, actually, Mark Gahey kept the ball in play. And he finds Chris Richards. Richards to Munoz. Back to Richards. Midway inside his own half of the field. And drops the ball back to Joachim Andersen, who goes all the way back to the goalkeeper, Dean Henderson. Long ball, right-footed downfield, just headed down comfortably there by Nathan Collins. And it was then headed out of play by Mad Royslev, and it's going to be a throw-in and to Crystal Palace. And here is Adam Wharton. Wharton just drops the ball back to Joachim Andersen. Andersen plays the ball long down the left-hand side here to Tyreek Mitchell. Mitchell drops the ball back to Hughes, to Eze. Eberici Eze plays the ball forward to Kamada, gets the ball back off Kamada. And it's a nice ball down to the right-hand side to Richards. And here's Munoz. Back to Richards again. And he plays the ball to Will Hughes. And midway inside the Brentford half of the field. Will Hughes, nicely off by Mateta, and Eze tries to play the ball back through to Mateta, but nipping in there was Nathan Collins and played the ball back to Mark Flecken, who launches the ball downfield. It's picked up here by Will Hughes. He gives the ball back there to Joachim Andersen for Palace. Andersen plays the ball forward to Kamada. Kamada on his league debut today for Crystal Palace. On a free from Lazio. Adam Wharton is reunited with Oliver Glasner. The Austrian managed Kamada at Eintracht Frankfurt, of course. It's laid off to Kamada again. He battles and wins the ball well there, but the referee, Sam Barrett, has alleged that Kamada has committed the foul. And Kamada doesn't agree, but it is a free kick to Brentford, as we've had almost 10 minutes on the clock at the Gtech Community Stadium. Brentford 0, Crystal Palace 0. Anybody in the chat who is a Brentford or Crystal Palace fan, please feel free to drop your thoughts into the chat. Just please try to keep it nice and clean. We are a family show. I know it's a London derby and all, but let's keep it clean. Here's Tariq Mitchell. And Mitchell there brings down Visser, and Visser just making some adjustments and gets back on his feet. Takes a free kick quickly, drops it back to Nathan Collins inside his own half. Gives the ball to Mads Royslev. Royslev drops the ball back again to the number 22 there, Nathan Collins. Gives it to Ethan Pinnock. Pinnock across there to Christopher Asia, and Asia just drops the ball back to the goalkeeper, Mark Flecken, who releases it to Royslev. Royslev, first time pass forward, looking for Visser, but it was intercepted, and here goes Eze now. Eze just can drop the ball down the left-hand side there. He's got options with Tariq Mitchell, but Eze just keeps a hold of the ball, and he just lifts the ball into Will Hughes. That was a really smart pass, but Will Hughes is not going to be able to keep it in play, and it's going to be a goal kick. And a promising move breaks down for Crystal Palace there, as Oliver Glasner just trying to have a word with his bench there. Just wonder what they both might consider to be an interesting start to the season. And there's a long ball over by Janelt. He gives the ball to Asia. Asia sends the ball long, looking for Kevin Schade, but the ball goes way beyond the German and goes through to the goalkeeper, Dean Henderson. And he just holds the ball now. He's got no intention of rushing at the moment. He finally releases the ball to Anderson. Anderson goes long, looking there for Mateta. He brings the ball down to Mateta, but nipping in and winning the ball well was Janelt. And the ball is cleared long now downfield again, looking for Kevin Schade down the left-hand side, but it goes out of play. And it's going to be a throw-in as we take a look at some of the substitutes. There's Ben Mee there on the bench, the former Burnley player. And I just wonder exactly, as we take a look there at the new signing, who's currently injured for Brentford, that is Igor Thiago. Not sure exactly how long he's going to be out for, but certainly they will want him back as soon as possible. As a throw-in is taken quickly. It's just one in the air by Janelt, and Eberici Eze, though, picks up the loose ball. It's long, looking for Mateta, but coming back well there is Christopher Asia, and it's cleared downfield by Mark Flecken. It's picked up again, this time by Nathan Collins, and won back again by Crystal Palace, and it's Adam Wharton. Adam Wharton just drops the ball back into his own half to Anderson. And there is Gahey, releases the ball to Will Hughes just inside the centre circle, plays it down the left-hand side to Tariq Mitchell. Mitchell holds the ball up, forward to Hughes again, back to Mitchell. Mitchell plays the ball forward, flicked on there by Jean-Philippe Mateta, but in the end it just goes nowhere, and Janelt just picks up the ball and drops it back to Flecken. He releases the ball to Asia. Christopher Asia, long ball over to Mads Royslev, one of the many Danish contingent here at Gtech Community Stadium. They was looking there for the number 7, Kevin Schade again, but Schade is dispossessed. Eze knocks the ball back to Will Hughes, and Will Hughes gives the ball to Joachim Andersen. Anderson gives the ball to Wharton and back to Hughes. Hughes holds the ball up here now. And it's played forward now to Jean-Philippe Mateta. Mateta down the left-hand side for Tariq Mitchell, promising this for Crystal Palace. It's pulled across the middle, and he was looking for Daichi Kamada, but that is a good interception by Christian Norgard, the Brentford captain, and it's going to be a throw-in now to Palace. Gahey gives the ball back to Anderson. Anderson plays the ball across to Chris Richards. Daniel Munez. Back to Richards. And Richards plays the ball over to to Will Hughes. And here's Eze now. Eze's got Tariq Mitchell over on the left. Can he play the pass? It's Eze. He decides to go on his own, and it takes a deflection. And the referee has, in fact, called something here. It's not even going to be a corner. It looks like it might be a handball that Sam Barrett is pointing at. Let's take a look. Yes, it came off Jean-Philippe Mateta's arm. As we take a look here, Eze just strikes a shot, takes a deflection there off Nathan Collins, and it's in fact going to be a goal kick. And Oliver Glasner. Crystal Palace looking dangerous coming forward. We had a quarter of an hour here. It's 0-0. Crystal Palace looking threatening when they're coming forward. Brentford really unable to create much so far. As there's a foul that time on Janelt by Munoz, and it's going to be a free kick to Brentford. Maybe an opportunity to catch a break for the Bees. And Sam Barrett just waiting for Jensen to take this free kick. And he walks away from it, and he leaves it to Ethan Pinnock. And some arguing going on between Munez and Jensen regarding that free kick. Here's Mads Royslev just over the halfway line down the right. He drops the ball back into his own half of the field. And it's picked up there by Janelt. Janelt drops it back to Pinnock. Across to Christopher Asia. Asia holds the ball up. Down the right-hand side there to Sharda. Good interception that time by the number 22. By the number 12 for Crystal Palace, Daniel Munez. And the throw-in is taken quickly for Brentford. It's now with Anderson. Anderson plays it just over the halfway line here to Mads Royslev. Plays the ball forward. Well, that's a good interception by Joachim Anderson. And once again, the passing breaks down for Brentford. Here's Will Hughes to Adam Wharton, just inside his own half, just inside the Brentford half of the field. He gives the ball to Kamada. Back to Munez. It's now back with Kamada. Kamada drops it back to Adam Wharton. Wharton plays the ball forward there to the number 5 Anderson, and he plays it to Eze. Eze drops the ball back to Anderson. 61% possession for Crystal Palace, but really only one attempt so far. As here it's Visser now for Brentford. Let's see what he can do now for the Bees. Visser coming forward now. He holds the ball up. He's about 20 yards out. Gives the ball to Mbeumo. But that's a really, really good challenge that time on Brian Mbeumo by Chris Richards. And it goes all the way back to the goalkeeper, Dean Henderson. A promising break for Brentford breaking down there. Dean Henderson holds the ball up. And if you look at the comparative league stats for last season, you can really see where Crystal Palace, since Oliver Glasner joined them, just improved so much, and finishing in 10th position was a very, very good season in the end for Crystal Palace. As the ball is played long by Collins, and he finds Brian Mbeumo now. Mbeumo down the right-hand side, corner of the penalty area. And he's got Tariq Mitchell in front of him, but Mbeumo's pass is poor, and Chris Richards just cuts across and clears the ball away. It's picked up, though, by Collins again. And it's now with Royslev. Royslev back to Collins. Collins cross there to Pinnock. Pinnock gives the ball to Asia. Christopher Asia just drops it back to Ethan Pinnock again. As it seems to me, the passing from Brentford seems to be just breaking down at the moment. And here is Royslev. Royslev goes all the way back to the goalkeeper, Mark Flecken. Flecken plays the ball across there to Pinnock. Pinnock goes back to the goalkeeper one more time. And he's just holding the ball up there right now and plays the ball to Ethan Pinnock again. Pinnock releases the ball to Asia. Brentford just trying to keep possession for the time being, just trying to get comfortable on the ball. They haven't really been that yet. Flecken under pressure. Oh, it's a poor ball by Flecken. It goes straight to Eze, and Eze is brought down right on the edge of the penalty area. And it's going to be a free kick and a yellow card, obviously, for Johan Visser. But that really was an opportunity because Mark Flecken gave the ball straight to Eberici Eze there. And under pressure from Kamada, Eze might have been better shooting first time. Instead, he tried to move forward towards the middle of the goal, and he was brought down by Johan Visser, and it's going to be a free kick. And, Visser there is perhaps a little fortunate. It was one of those ones where the goalkeeper wasn't in the net, but of course he wasn't the last man. And the free kick is going to be taken. It's about just to the left-hand side of the D, and it's about 20 yards out. And Eberici Eze is standing over this. Mark Flecken just trying to organise his wall. Eze just waiting for the referee's whistle. As that wall is about 4 in the wall. Eze with a shot. Oh, it goes through the wall and just whistles past the left-hand post of Mark Flecken. And, well, the wall didn't really do its job there. Let's take a look. See, there was a little gap there between the wall. And, he nearly found the bottom left-hand corner as a result there. Flecken may not have been getting there. 21 minutes gone. It's Brentford 0, Crystal Palace 0. And the goal kick is taken by Mark Flecken downfield. It's flicked on by Kevin Schade. And just picked up that time in the middle of the park by Matthias Jensen, rather. But he's not able to play the ball back, and it goes out of play. It's going to be a throw-in, as once again the passing from Brentford in the final third of the field just seems to be breaking down right now. The ball is launched forward by Crystal Palace, but it's comfortably headed down by Nathan Collins. Now, Collins has got Royce alongside him, but he plays the ball in the middle to Visser. Oh, a crunching challenge from behind there. And we're going to see a yellow card, and I think that's going to go to Joachim Andersen. Indeed it is, and that is a very poor challenge right through the back of Johan Visser. Maybe a little payback for the one earlier on, but that's a very poor challenge, and it's a free kick as Andersen picks up the yellow card, and just waiting now for. It's going to be Nathan Collins to take this free kick. It's about 10 yards inside his own half of the field. And it gets the ball back there, does Nathan Collins, and he drops it back to the goalkeeper, Mark Flecken. Flecken plays the ball downfield. Up in the air, winning that one is Chris Richards. And here's Muniz. Muniz to Wharton. Wharton plays the ball long there, but it's just headed down by Nathan Collins. And it's picked up here in the middle of the park by Matthias Jensen, and the ball is long out to the left-hand side to Kevin Schade. Schade has got Chris Richards in front of him. He cuts in towards the corner of the penalty area, left-hand side. The ball is across, all the way across the face of the penalty area to Brian Mbeumo. Mbeumo has got Royce overlapping. Mbeumo tries to get the cross in, but it's blocked by Will Hughes. It picks up again by Jensen for Brentford. Cross to Visser. Johan Visser down the right-hand side to Royce. Visser again just tries to shield that ball as it breaks down again for Brentford. Eze trying to come away with it, but it's won back by Jensen. Jensen gives the ball there to Collins in an advanced position. Collins tries to play the ball through there to Visser, but it was well intercepted that time by Will Hughes. And now here's Jean-Philippe Matete for Crystal Palace. Played the ball towards Andersen. Good ball to Eze. Eze, 30 yards out, gives the ball back to Andersen. Beautiful ball to Daniel Muniz down the right-hand side, corner of the penalty area. Daniel Muniz plays the ball back to Andersen with a shot, but it's comfortable save by Mark Flecken, but chances being created by Crystal Palace in this first half, and we've had 25 minutes gone here, and it is still 0-0. What I can tell you, my producer and presenter Nick has said to me that Brentford's new signing, Thiago, is in fact going to be out until December. So that's some information for you, as it's a free kick to Crystal Palace. Jensen not happy with that decision by Sam Barrett, as Adam Wharton just gets to his feet. Take a look at that again. Yeah, he leads with the elbow there, does Jensen, into the back of Wharton. That is a free kick. It's not too far out. I'd say, if I was looking at it's at the corner of the penalty area, but I would say it's a good 30 yards out, 35 yards out, maybe. Adam Wharton is standing over it right now. Richards, Matete, Hughes, all in the box, lurking with intent. It's a high line by Brentford, right on the line of the 18-yard box. The free kick is down the right-hand side. And Eze and Wharton are now both standing over it. It's going to be Eze as Wharton steps over. The shot coming in. Oh, it's a fantastic goal! It's Eberici Eze! Captain Mark Flecken off his line. And just a moment, though, I don't think the referee was ready. And this goal is not going to stand. And Oliver Glasner is furious. But what a strike from Eze. He just completely caught the goalkeeper. And I would say that is very deliberate. But the referee has, for some reason, blown... Is it for the foul by Will Hughes? I think it's for the foul by Will Hughes. But I suspect VAR is looking at it. But, well, what an effort by Eze. And it looks like, yes, it may be for the foul on Will Hughes that the referee has given the free kick for. But they're looking at it. VAR is reviewing it now. And let's see how quickly they do reach a decision here. Seeing as though this is one thing that was supposed to be improved upon. And the VAR, the goal is being reviewed. We'll see what are the consequences of this decision for the foul by Will Hughes. As Eze will be furious if this gets disallowed, because that was an exquisite piece of play by Eze, but we're still waiting to see now. They're still taking their time over this. Looks like the VAR decision stands. No goal. That's unfortunate for Eze. But the foul by Will Hughes, a completely unnecessary one at that, I might add. But the fourth official there, Tim Robinson, just explaining to Oliver Glasner why this goal is not standing. And the ball is played downfield. And Anderson just cutting across before Schade gets there to launch the ball downfield. Headed down by Mateta to Kamada. Kamada is dispossessed. And it was dispossessed by Janelt there and then fouls him. And it's going to be a free kick again to Brentford. Sam Barrett will not be endearing himself to the Crystal Palace fans, but looking at it again, it did look like it was a poor challenge from Will Hughes, just one that was completely unnecessary in my mind. Here's Nathan Collins, plays the ball to Janelt. Janelt goes all the way back to Mark Flecken. We've had 28 minutes gone at the Gtech Community Stadium. It's 0-0. And we nearly had our first goal of the game, and it would have been an absolute peach had it gone in, but no such luck. Here is Collins. Collins plays the ball there to Royslev. Royslev infield to Visser, and now picked up here by Janelt. This is really good play by Brentford. And now here's Visser. Visser sets Mbeumo off on his way. Chasing back is Mark Gahey. And Mbeumo down the right-hand side. In the penalty area is Mbeumo with a shot. Oh, and he scores! Brian Mbeumo! Well, what about that? Palace get a goal disallowed at one end. And Brian Mbeumo, 2 minutes later, goes round to score the goal to give Brentford a one-goal lead, and it seemed such an easy goal in the end, with Brian Mbeumo really unmolested, getting inside the penalty area down the right-hand side and curling it past Dean Henderson into his bottom right-hand corner. And the Cameroon international, Bryan Mbeumo, gives Brentford the lead in their first home game of the season. It's 1-0. We've had a comment in the comment section from Russ Vernon, enjoying the commentary so far. Paul, thanks, Russ. I will listen into your commentary later on in the second game of our double header this afternoon, which is Chelsea and Manchester City. Russ is going to bring you that one later on, and we hope that you'll join us for both games this afternoon, as Bryan Mbeumo just celebrates that goal. Well, it has to be said, Mark Gahey just did not get close enough to him as he cuts into the penalty area and curls it into the corner. Gahey just doesn't really get close enough to him, and Brentford take a 1-goal lead when they could have been 1-0 down. So salt rubbed into the Crystal Palace wounds there, as Will Hughes is shaking his head. Eze glances at him as well. I suppose they'll be having a conversation at half-time about that. It's on the halfway line. It's headed down now to Johan Wissa, definitely against the run of play that Brentford scored first. Wissa trying to play Mbeumo in again. Good work by Tyreek Mitchell, but Mbeumo wins the ball again, and here's an opportunity, and the ball breaks loose in the penalty area. Oh, that was an opportunity, and I think it was Christopher Asia that had got the touchdown. It was a good save in the end by the goalkeeper, Dean Henderson. Oh my goodness me. And it's down the left-hand side again and crossed to the back post to Wissa. But just nipping in there and winning that ball back is Tyreek Mitchell. But just for a moment, Brentford were nearly in for a second. And here's Jean-Philippe Mateta. And he loses the ball there to Ethan Pinnock. But my goodness me, Crystal Palace all of a sudden on the ropes when they dominated really the first 25 minutes of this game. We've got a player down there, and it is Asia who got that shot in on Dean Henderson. It was a really good save by Dean Henderson as well, although the ball broke loose and Brentford nearly capitalised on a second, as it's Mark Flecken now has the ball. He launches the ball downfield to Jensen. And Vitaly Janelt just drops the ball back to Ethan Pinnock. Brentford 1, Crystal Palace 0, 31 minutes gone. And just cutting across there to head the ball out of play is Joachim Andersen. And, well, I'm not really quite sure how to describe the way that this game has just turned on its head. But now making a complaint to Sam Barrett there is Christopher Asia. He's still limping from the challenge, the collision really with Dean Henderson. He doesn't look very comfortable at all. I just wonder how much longer he will continue. The throw in for Brentford is going to be taken by Matthias Jensen midway inside the Palace half of the field. And Jensen now plays the ball to Kevin Schade down the left-hand side, cutting across as Anderson. Anderson did very, very well there. And I think the ball came indeed off. Indeed, it did. It came off Kevin Schade last and went behind for a goal kick. As we take a look again at this, the ball played across there. Tyreek Mitchell's clearance wasn't good enough. Bryan Mbeumo slipped the ball through to Asia. It was a good save by the goalkeeper, but it broke loose. And we're just taking a look as well at the challenge here from the goalkeeper. It was a nasty collision. And in the end, Tyreek Mitchell finally got his foot through it and put it away. But Palace at 6s and 7s defensively there. Here's Will Hughes. And it's Chris Richards, gives the ball to Muniz. Muniz holds the ball up. Daniel Muniz plays the ball back into the centre circle to Anderson. Anderson, long ball looking for Eze, but out comes Mark Flecken and plucks that ball out of the air. As it's 1-0 to Brentford at the Gtech Community Stadium. And here is Johan Wissa. Wissa holds the ball up well and drops the ball back there to the number 5, Ethan Pinnock. Pinnock across there to Asia. Asia now just under pressure from Muniz. Gives the ball back to Pinnock, who plays the ball long. It's picked up well by Jensen. And here's Janelt. Janelt under pressure from Richards. Good ball by Janelt. And it's picked up by Wissa. Wissa to Matthias Jensen. And now here's Roysled for Brentford. Roysled plays the ball to Brian Umbremo, the goal scorer. Umbremo again down the right-hand side, tries to find Roysled again, but the pass just isn't quite there. And Mark Gahey just ushers that ball out of play, and the score remains at 1-0. As we have about 10 minutes to go till half time, plus stoppage time. There might be a few minutes. And this is the first of a double header on the commentary hub today. Later, Chelsea versus Manchester City. Join Russ Vernon for that one, as it's cleared away by Crystal Palace, but it's won back there by Ethan Pinnock, who found Brian Umbremo, but Umbremo had more time than he realised, and in the end swiped his leg at it and got a half connection and rolled through to the goalkeeper, Dean Henderson, and it's released. So here's Eberici Eze now on the ball. He gives the ball there to Gahey. Gahey to Anderson. Back to Mark Gahey again. Goes just over the halfway line. And it's back to Eze. Eze holds the ball up. Back to Anderson. Across to Richards. To Daniel Munoz. Munoz. Back to Chris Richards. Richards. Good ball there by Anderson as well. Down to Gahey, who gives the ball to Tyreek Mitchell. Mitchell releases it to Eze. Eze's got Brian Umbremo around him, and he just drops the ball back there to Will Hughes, and Eze gets the ball back. Eze tries to skip into the penalty area, but that was a really good challenge by Christian Norgard, and there's a foul there, and it's going to be a free kick to Brentford, as really interesting move between Will Hughes and Eze there. As we take a look at this free kick again from the goal that was disallowed. Wow, what a finish. That, I mean, just looking at it from a neutral standpoint, that was an audacious effort. And you look at it and you begin to wonder that it's such a shame that such a goal couldn't stand. But in the end, more salt was rubbed in the wound when 2 minutes later, Brian Umbremo gave Brentford the lead. And that's the way we stand if you're just joining us right now. As the Brentford fans, they'll be looking to get off to a solid start as Umbremo has a quick drink. And Brentford, well, they've had a very interesting pre-season. Only one win out in the last 5 of the games that they played. Palace had 3 wins and 2 draws as they prepared for this young season. Brentford now will take this free kick, and it's going to be Mark Flecken that's going to launch the ball right-footed downfield. He's taking his time. He's going to get a warning from Sam Barrett if he doesn't hurry along. And the ball is cleared downfield by Flecken, and it's headed on by Sharda and headed away by Anderson, picked up by Norgard. Flicked on by Visser. Norgard heads it on again. Got a game ahead tennis going on, but Palace win the ball back, and it's Will Hughes. Oh, really good ball by Will Hughes to Kamada. Kamada releases it to Eze. Eze just tried to play the ball through to Kamada again. It bounces off Roysled and comes to Will Hughes. Will Hughes plays the ball across to Richards. Richards to Anderson. Anderson. Here's Mark Gahey. Gahey holds the ball up, and he goes long over on the far side to Daniel Munoz down the right-hand side. Oh, it's poor control by Munoz. And nipping in there is Kevin Sharda. And in the end, he fouls Adam Wharton, and it's going to be a free kick to Crystal Palace, which is taken quickly. And it's Adam Wharton. Plays the ball forward. Oh, that's a good interception that time. Brentford can come forward, and it's Visser. And he gives the ball to Sharda, overlapping his Asia. Christopher Asia now, left-hand side corner of the penalty area, tries to play through Sharda, but again, it's just too far for Sharda. And nipping in is Joachim Andersen, and he clears the ball away. But it's headed out to play by Christian Norgard, and it's going to be a throw-in for Crystal Palace. Here's Munoz. Munoz drops the ball back to Chris Richards, who goes back to the goalkeeper, Dean Henderson. Beaten once already today, cleared downfield. Comfortably brought down to the chest with Nathan Collins, who plays it down the right-hand side to Roysled. Roysled plays the ball for a beautiful flick on by Visser. And Norgard just wins that ball, and play goes on, and it's Sharda and Sharda is dispossessed, and now all of a sudden the referee does blow the whistle. It appeared as though that Sam Barrett was allowed played on, and then where the ball seemed to, then the referee stopped play for some reason. I'm not sure exactly what happened there. Norgard won the ball. No problem there. Although there was a collision with Adam Wharton. And the referee stopped play just after Sharda had the ball. And now Palace moving forward with Kamada. Kamada plays the ball through for Jean-Philippe Mateta. Mateta goes down under the challenge of Flecken. Half-hearted appeals, but nothing given by Sam Barrett. We'll wait and see if there's a VAR check on that. I didn't think there was much in that myself personally, but let's take a look at this again. Yes, Flecken gets the ball first, and then Mateta just collides with the goalkeeper. So play will go on. And here's Jensen. Jensen drops the ball back. Mateta is still down, incidentally, though. And the ball is picked up by Collins. Gives the ball to Visser. Johan Visser. Drops the ball back again as Jean-Philippe Mateta just getting himself to his feet now. And 5 minutes to go till half-time at the Gtech Community Stadium. It's Brentford 1, Crystal Palace 0. Here's Ethan Pinnock inside the centre circle. Plays the ball down the right-hand side to Royslev. Royslev plays the ball off the face of Tariq Mitchell. And it goes out of play for a throw into Brentford. As we take a look at this one more time, Kamada's nice little pass through to Jean-Philippe Mateta. He was struggling to get there, was Mateta. And yes, it was Flecken who actually got his hands to it. And more really of Philippe Mateta just colliding with Flecken. Here's Kevin Sharda now. In front of him there is the number 12, Daniel Munoz. But Kevin Sharda just trying to get away from him. And it goes behind for a goal kick. He runs the ball out of play. As Crystal Palace will go in at half-time. Wondering why they're not at least on level terms if it stays the way it is. Because they definitely, the first 28 minutes, they definitely look the better team. Since then, really, Brentford has come into the game a little bit. The ball is launched downfield and it's flicked on there by Asia. And Norgard lifts the ball over the top to Kevin Sharda now. And in the middle is Brian Mbeumo. But Sharda turns, gets a shot away and just wide. Oh, that was a really good bit of play by Kevin Sharda. He just turned Daniel Munoz inside out. It was a very tight angle, but he tried the shot and it just goes wide. And, well, Brentford now, another opportunity for them. Corner of the 6-yard box, really, when he got that shot away. Down the left-hand side. And he just pulls the shot wide. Oh, well, Henderson wasn't getting there, was he? And if that would have been on target, that most likely would have been 2-0. And it's going to be a goal kick now for Crystal Palace, which Dean Henderson will take. Long downfield. Headed on there by Pinnock, but the ball goes out of play. And it's going to be a throw-in as we go to the last few minutes of this first half here at the Gtech Community Stadium. And the throw-in is just inside the Brentford half of the field, which Munoz takes. Gives the ball to Jean-Philippe Mateta for Crystal Palace. It's won back by Visser. Visser plays the ball now down the left-hand side. And it's picked up by Jensen. Jensen drops the ball back to Asia. Asia gives the ball to Ethan Pinnock. Pinnock to Nathan Phillips. To Nathan Collins, I apologise. Nathan Collins gives the ball there to Royslev. Royslev tried to play the ball forward to Mbeumo, and it looks like it might have come off Mark Gahey in the end. It's going to be a throw into Brentford, or is it? No, it's actually a throw into Crystal Palace, and Tariq Mitchell takes it. And there's Will Hughes, plays the ball over to Daniel Munoz. Munoz just holds the ball up now, just taking the ball back towards the halfway line and drops it back to Joachim Andersen. Andersen, nice ball to Gahey. Gahey inside the centre circle to Andersen again. Patient build-up play by Palace. Here's Gahey. They've got about a minute before half-time. There'll be a few minutes injury time, of course, I suspect. Here's Muniz now down the right-hand side. Long cross in by Muniz, and it's headed out that time by Royslev, but only as far as the number 6, Mark Gahey. Gahey drops the ball back to Joachim Andersen. Andersen gives it to Richards, and Andersen gets it back. He drops the ball to Will Hughes, midway inside the Brentford half of the field. Here's Kamada, just nips in and wins the ball. Good ball by Gahey down the left-hand side to Tyreek Mitchell. Gives the ball to Will Hughes. Will Hughes to across there to Andersen, and Andersen gives the ball to Chris Richards. Richards back to Adam Wharton, 30 yards out, and it's now with Will Hughes to Eze. Eze looking to turn and shoot. He tries to lift the ball into the box to Muniz. Muniz goes down, but it's a good play actually by Matthias Jensen, and he gives the ball to Visser, who gives the ball to Brian Mbeumo down the right-hand side. Mbeumo has got Tyreek Mitchell in front of him, and he just turns away from Tyreek Mitchell and plays the ball to Visser. Visser then just tries to find Royslev in what was more really of a hospital pass. And Royslev goes down under the challenge there. And it's going to be a free kick. And we're just going to see who's going to get the yellow card there. It's going to be Gahey for that challenge. We'll just take a look at it again. Oh, that was late. And that was over the ball with the studs up too. I actually think Gahey is quite lucky there. That actually could have been a red card. I've seen them given, but he's got away with a yellow there. But we're going to have 2 minutes of stoppage time. We've played almost a minute of that. As the free kick is going to be taken, and it's going to be Brian Mbeumo over it. As Janelt also there lurking with intent. And Matthias Jensen too. Janelt moves away. It's going to be between Jensen and Mbeumo. As Dean Henderson trying to organise a wall. Palace certainly don't want to fall a second behind right on the half-time break. But we'll see here as Henderson just making sure his wall is lined up well. They're just inside the penalty area by about 3 yards. And the free kick is going to be launched in here. And Mbeumo moves away from it now, and it's going to be Matthias Jensen. Jensen swings it in. Getting the header behind there was Daichi Kamada, who on his league debut in the Premier League has been very impressive in this first half. And he's actually part of a number of Japanese players that have been signed by Premier League clubs in this window. But he's been quite impressive in the first half for Palace. So any consolation for them so far is that he has performed very well. Mbeumo is going to take the corner now for Brentford. We've just got a hold up here. The referee blows his whistle and the corner can now be taken as we have played the 2 minutes of stoppage time. We're now in the discretionary time. It's swung in by Mbeumo to the back post, and Royslev goes down. And it goes behind for a goal kick. And I suspect once this goal kick is taken by Henderson that we'll probably see the half-time whistle. And the referee is just waiting for this goal kick to be taken. As Thomas Frank there, quite impressed with his side as has gone on in the first half. The goal kick is taken long downfield and it's headed by Nathan Collins. Still we play on, at least for the time being. And here is Joachim Andersen. Andersen plays the ball to Mark Gahey. Gahey to Will Hughes. Will Hughes to Gahey. Gahey, long ball there. I'm chasing this one. Is Kamada. Kamada lays it off for Mateta. Mateta would have shot, but it's pulled wide. And that was possibly the last chance of this first half. And that really was an opportunity for Jean-Philippe Mateta. The ball was played long by Gahey. I just wonder whether Kamada was in an offside position anyway. It looks like he was. He just laid it off there for Jean-Philippe Mateta. And it was pulled just wide. In fact, the referee's flag has gone up. And there it is. There's a half-time whistle at the Gtech Community Stadium. So despite dominating the first half hour, it's actually Brentford that take the lead from Brian Mbuemo's goal on 28 minutes. A fantastic free kick by Eberichi Eze. His goal was disallowed by a foul by Will Hughes on 26. But at half-time at the Gtech Community Stadium, it's Brentford 1, Crystal Palace 0. Back to you, Nick.
Thanks, Paul. And thanks, Paul. Well, Brentford off the mark earlier on. We were expecting it to be Crystal Palace. They controlled the half. They controlled the first part of the half, but then after that disallowed goal, I feel they started to fall apart a little bit. So they'll need to regain their composure and strength in the second half. Anyway, we can now bring you the results from some of the earlier matches today. Sunderland 4, Sheffield Wednesday 0 was the finish in the was the final score in the championship game, which Ross pointed out earlier on. In League Two, it's currently Notts County against Fleetwood Town. The match is drawing to a close. Notts County have just made it 2-2 thus far, and we will bring you the final results before the second half. But we've just got time now. We have time now to go through the results from yesterday's matches, starting with the Premier League. Ipswich Town 0, Liverpool 2 was the score for the lunchtime match. All other games were as follows: Arsenal 2, Wolverhampton Wanderers 0, Everton 0, Brighton and Hove Albion 3, Newcastle United 1, Southampton 0, Nottingham Forest 1, AFC Bournemouth 1, West Ham United 1, Aston Villa 2. In the Championship, the earlier matches were Derby County 1, Middlesbrough 0, Portsmouth 1, Luton Town 0, and West Bromwich Albion 0, Leeds United 0. All other matches: Bristol City 4, Millwall 3, Burnley 5, Cardiff City 0, Norwich City 2, Blackburn Rovers 2, Plymouth Argyle 1, Hull City 1, Sheffield United 2, Queen's Park Rangers 2, Swansea City 3, Preston North End 0, Watford 3, Stoke City 0. In League One, the early lunchtime matches were Charlton Athletic 1, Leyton Orient 0, and Shrewsbury Town 1, Peterborough United 4. All other matches were as follows: Blackpool 0, Stockport County 3, Cambridge United 0, Crawley Town 1, Huddersfield Town 2, Stevenage 1, Lincoln City 1, Barnsley 2, Mansfield Town 3, Burton Albion 3, Northampton Town 2, Exeter City 1, Reading 2, Wigan Athletic 0, Rotherham United 0, Bristol Rovers 0, and Wycombe Wanderers 2, Birmingham City 3. And finally the results from League 2. Bromley 2, AFC Wimbledon 0, Carlisle United 1, Barrow 0, Accrington Stanley 3, Harrogate Town 3, Bradford City 0, I should say, Salford City 0, Colchester United 2, MK Dons 0, Crewe Alexandra 0, Chesterfield 5, Grimsby Town 3, Cheltenham Town 2, Morecambe 0, Gillingham 1, Newport County 3, Doncaster Rovers 1, Port Vale 0, Tranmere Rovers 0, and finally Swindon Town 0, Walsall 4. Those were the scores from the top 4 divisions, including the EFL, which we are also covering extensively this season on the Commentary Hub. We're going to take a bit of a break, but we'll be back before the start of the second half. Do please stay with us. Welcome back to the Commentary Hub's alternative audio coverage of Brentford against Crystal Palace in the Premier League at the Gtech Community Stadium. And I can confirm that the League Two match between Notts County and Fleetwood Town, the final score is 2-2. But back to the here and now between Brentford and Crystal Palace. Paul, Crystal Palace will be cursing their luck and the referee after that Eberishi Esse goal was disallowed.
Yeah, I don't think they can really curse the referee. I think the decision was correct. I think it was a foul. I think they've got to look at why such a foul was committed. It was unnecessary. It was completely unnecessary. It was a piece of brilliance by Eze, and of course, to make matters worse, Brian Mbeumo goes down the other end of the field and scores. But for Crystal Palace, they now need to put that behind them, and they're going to have to come out in the second half and play like they did in the first half an hour, be positive, and try to get themselves back into this game. A point on the road wouldn't be terrible, but this is a game that for Oliver Glasner that he would expect to try to get 3 points out of.
Okay, so we're about a couple of minutes. Okay, so we're about a minute or so away from the second half. The players are now making their way back out onto the pitch. So let's hand back over to Paul James.
Thank you, Nick. Welcome back, everybody. Players coming out for the second half at the Gtech Community Stadium. And the crowd just also making its way back to their seats from the halftime refreshment stands. As referee Sam Barrett now, and it looks like Crystal Palace may be looking at a substitution. Just preparing himself on the bench there. It looks like Edward is preparing himself on the bench there. So it looks like we may see Odsonne Edward, but we'll just wait and see now for sure. He's definitely stripping himself down, ready to come on. It'd be interesting to see who he's going to replace. But referee is just getting everybody together for the centre circle. So Odsonne Edward is in fact coming on. And we're just going to see who his replacement is going to be. It is going to be Jean-Philippe Mateta. In the first half, Jean-Philippe Mateta, he didn't really have a great deal to do. Also, the fact that he just did not receive the service, really. So now he is the sacrificial lamb in these repair efforts for Crystal Palace, as the second half is about to get underway with Brentford getting us back underway, attacking the goal to our left, and the referee blows the whistle, and there is Norgard launches the ball long downfield. The header is won that time by the number 26, Chris Richards, and it's cleared back into the Brentford half of the field, but it goes out of play, and it's going to be a throw-in. Remember, you can join us for the second half of our double header today between Chelsea and Manchester City. That game is going to be available to you after this one, and Ross Vernon is going to be bringing that game to you. And here's Visser now for Brentford. Visser has got Mbeumo available on the right-hand side. There's a quick 1-2 with Mbeumo, but coming across and making the vital challenge there was Anderson on Visser. And it's going to be a corner to Brentford, but this was a really quick 1-2 between Visser and Mbeumo. The two of them have been very, very dangerous in the first half for Palace, and they'll be looking to continue that momentum into the second half as the corner now is going to be taken for Brentford. Ethan Pinnock and Nathan Collins joining the rest of the Brentford front line in the penalty area. Brian Mbeumo is going to take this corner. He may just take it short. He does to Jensen. Jensen drops the ball back to Collins, and it's swung back in again and headed into the air by Mark Gahey. He gets a second opportunity, but he only heads it out as far as Brian Mbeumo. Mbeumo just drops the ball back again, this time to Jan Elt. It's swung in, the flick header is on, and a chance! And what an opportunity for Nathan Collins. He was not able to get a touch on it, and he was onside. Well, that was a real opportunity for Brentford to make it 2-0. The cross came in from Janelt. It was flicked on by Pinnock, but just unable to reach it there was Nathan Collins. And now Palace coming forward with Eberici Eze, and he is not, that is poor control by Eberici Eze, unable to control that, and it just rolls off his leg and goes out of play. He's got a smile on his face. Goodness me, there isn't much to smile about right now. Brentford 1, Crystal Palace 0 from his perspective. And there's Oliver Glasner. And the goal kick is going to be taken by Mark Flecken, right-footed downfield. And flicked on there that time by Sharda. And that's cleared away again by Anderson, who's done very well defensively for Palace today. But nipping in and winning the challenge back there was the captain, Christian Norgard. He dumped the ball back into the Palace end of the pitch, but in the end it just goes back to the goalkeeper off Chris Richards. And Dean Henderson now holds the ball up and launches the ball left-footed downfield. It's headed down that time by Ethan Pinnock, but again only as far as Adam Wharton. And then he provides the ball to Chris Richards, and he's trying to set Munoz on his way. But the ball escapes him and goes through to the goalkeeper, Mark Flecken. And, well, he's just going to take all the time in the world with this now. Mark Flecken just plays the ball to Nathan Collins. Collins plays the ball. Oh, it's a poor ball by Collins. And now here's Wharton to Eze. Eze slips the ball through there to Edward. Edward plays the ball out wide. And the cross coming in there on the far side goes back to Wharton. And now again, it's Chris Richards with a cross. And it's put behind for a corner. And, well, that was Tariq Mitchell, I should say, swung the cross in that time. Tariq Mitchell, and it just put behind for a corner. And it may have actually come off Nathan Collins last. So Crystal Palace have the corner. It's going to be taken. Well, Daniel Munoz looked like he was going to take it. He's going to leave it now for Eberici Eze. Corner is down the left-hand side. He's going to swing this one in. He does it short instead to Kamada. Kamada across to Wharton with a shot. Oh, it takes a deflection. It goes just wide. Oh, my goodness me. Were Brentford lucky there. Wharton's shot took a vicious deflection and just went the wrong side of the post as far as Crystal Palace are concerned. It came, the ball actually ricocheted off Royce-Lev, and it just went the wrong side of the post. But goodness me, that was an almighty let-off for Brentford. Corner taken now by Wharton. Wharton gets the ball back, plays the ball across the penalty area, but it's comfortably won back by Janelt. But it's given away by Brentford again, and a cross with the outside of the boot there by Wharton, but it's just away from Edward. And now it's picked up by Royce-Lev, and he plays the ball there to Ethan Pinnock. Ethan Pinnock clashing with the number 5. It's rather not Ethan Pinnock, I'm sorry. It is Sharda. It is Kevin Sharda there down the right-hand side. And Sharda just trying to get away there. And the ball is put out of play by Tariq Mitchell. But Kevin Sharda just breaking away there for Crystal Palace. For Brentford. And the ball is out of play, and it's going to be a throw-in. And it's going to be taken by Matthias Jensen, who just wastes a few more seconds by putting the ball back on the cone. Completely unnecessary. Level with the penalty area down the right-hand side for this throw-in for Matthias Jensen. Level with the Palace penalty area. It's a long throw-in by Jensen. It's headed away behind, that time by Mark Gahey. And it's going to be a corner for Brentford again. As Crystal Palace, well, they're not looking like the team that started this game. They're looking like a little bit at 6s and 7s. And the corner is going to be taken on that right-hand side. And it's going to be Brian Mbeumo again. He's going to swing this one in. It's not going to look like it's going to go short this time. Looks like it's going to be swung in. Emblemo swings it into the edge of the 6-yard box. It comes out there to Vitaly Janelt, who gets his foot underneath it and launches it over the crossbar and out of play. But Janelt, he had a bit more time than he realised there as well, but he just got his foot underneath that and it's cleared now downfield by Dean Henderson. And that's Edward just winning the ball back. He gives it to Will Hughes. Hughes forward to Eze. Tariq Mitchell's overlapping down the left-hand side. Mitchell he's got Royce Lev in front of him as Mitchell, and he drops the ball back to Will Hughes. Now to Adam Wharton. Wharton with a shot. Oh, good save by Flecken to his left. Oh, got down to his left-hand side, Flecken there. That was a wonderful save. And it's cleared away now by Asia. Looking for Emblemo again, but Tariq Mitchell picks up the ball. And Mitchell now has got a lot of space in front of him. Nobody closing him down. Here's Kamada. And now here's Wharton. Tries to give the ball to Munaz. And the ball is knocked out of play by Matthias Jensen. But what a super save from Flecken from the shot from Adam Wharton. Angling into the left-hand corner, but that was a super save. Got down to his left well there. Here is Anderson. Gives the ball to Will Hughes. Will Hughes, a quick 1-2 with Kamada, and now gives the ball to Tariq Mitchell down the left-hand side. Oh, it's had a free kick there for the foul on Eze. The referee says no. And there's Emblemo. He gives the ball to Jensen. Jensen gives the ball back to Emblemo. Storming over the halfway line is Emblemo. He manages... there's a collision there with Sharda, and it's picked up by Visser. Visser, is he dispossessed there? No, he's fouled in fact by Munaz, and it's going to be a free kick. Visser is down as Munaz is trying to help him back to his feet. It's just a late challenge, really, by Munaz. And it's going to be a free kick, and it's not in a really terrible position. And I think that challenge by Nathan Collins may also have been a free kick, but the referee chose not to give that one, but has given this one instead. We've had 10 minutes gone in the second half. It's Brentford 1, Crystal Palace 0 at the Gtech Community Stadium. Jensen and Emblemo are standing over this free kick that's down the left-hand side, about 40 yards out. And they're just looking for options. It's a high line by Crystal Palace, just outside of the 18-yard box. And Jensen may take this. He stepped away from it and he's going to leave it to Emblemo. Emblemo launches the ball in towards the back post, and it's a flick on there by Richards, and it was tried to be kept in, but I don't think it actually was. I think this is going to be a corner. Let's just take a look at this again. It was, it came off the, yes, it came off Richards. Oh, actually, it was kept in by Sharda, but it's well behind for a goal kick, and the goal kick is going to be taken by Joachim Anderson, who's just probably going to, nope, he just instead hands the ball off, and then Flecken just passes it to Anderson, not sure what was behind all that, and in the end, the ball was launched into the Brentford half of the field, which Ethan Pinnock heads down back into the Crystal Palace half, and here now is Tariq Mitchell. Mitchell drops the ball back there to Gahey. Gahey just inside his own half of the field. Gives the ball to Anderson. Anderson launches the ball down the right-hand side to Munaz. Munaz drops the ball back to Richards. Richards would pass across there to the number 6, Mark Gahey. Gives the ball to Tariq Mitchell. He's got Eze up alongside him. Eze down that left-hand side. Gives the ball to Mitchell. Mitchell gets across in towards the back post. Headed on by Munaz, and it's turned in! And it's an own goal. I think it's by Ethan Pinnock. And it's 1-1. Palace get the equaliser with 11 minutes gone in the second half. And it is Ethan Pinnock with the own goal. And, well, that is an equaliser for Crystal Palace. And one which came pretty much out of nowhere, really. The ball was played to Tariq Mitchell down the left. And he lays it off to Eze. And Eze then just gives the ball back to Tariq Mitchell, and the cross towards the back post is headed down by Munez, and just sticking his leg out there was Ethan Pinnock, and he's turned it into his own goal, and it's 1-1. Well, it's a soft goal to give away from Brentford's perspective, but we are all tied up here now at the Gtech Community Stadium. And here now is Palace coming forward again, and it's Edward. Edward, oh, he tried to find Kamada, but the ball is now given away, and now Brentford can come forward, and it's Sharda running at Chris Richards. He tries to get away. Is that a foul on Kevin Sharda? Surely it is. And it's a yellow card given to Chris Richards as a consequence of that foul. Of course, he made no attempt to win the ball, and he's got a hold of his shirt there. Like he's practically undressing him. And it's a free kick for the foul on Chris Richards. And we've had almost 58 minutes gone. And Sharda is now making his way into the penalty area. It's probably going to be Brian Emblemo that's going to take this free kick. The Palace line, again, is once again a really high line, right on the edge of the 18-yard box. Jensen and Emblemo standing over it. Jensen moves away. Emblemo will take the free kick. It's headed out by Kamada to the edge of the area, just headed on there by Jan Elt, but it's picked up by Tyreek Mitchell just down the left-hand side, and it's played off the Brentford centre-back Nathan Collins, and it goes behind for a goal kick. Brentford 1, Crystal Palace 1. We are almost on the hour mark. The equaliser came from the own goal from Ethan Pinnock. We'll be disappointed with that one, as there's Kamada just trying to find Eze there. And now on second opportunity, this time Will Hughes finds Eze. Eze down the left-hand side. Oh, here's a real chance for Edwards. It could be 2-1. It is! Oh, it's 2-1, but he's offside. Oh, he's offside, and it's another goal disallowed by Crystal Palace from their perspective. And this time it is Edward that is in the offside position. Let's just take a look. It looks very tight, I must say, from that angle. But let's have a look now. This is the vital part. It is very difficult to say. They're going to have to review this, I think, in VAR, because that one is extremely difficult to say whether that one was level or not. But in fact, it's any review. In fact, it's already been completed, and it is still 1-1. No change on the goal there. And it's now with Jensen. Jensen just dropped it back to Norgard. And in the end, it goes back to Pinnock and back to the goalkeeper. And Mark Flecken clears it downfield to Royslev. Royslev's pass is given away to Anderson, and Anderson plays the ball forward, but nobody was there, and it's picked up by Mark Flecken. And the game is going to continue as he releases it quickly. And here's Jan Elt. Jan Elt looking for options. He drops the ball back to Ethan Pinnock. He's midway inside his own half of the field for Brentford. Nathan Collins. The ball is played forward now, and chasing this one down is Johan Visser, but Tyreek Mitchell should come across. And it's a foul, actually, and a free kick. Well, and Breme there just penalised for that foul. So 1-1, we've crossed the hour mark, and I have to say that I wonder whether either manager is thinking of perhaps any more changes at this time. It's flicked on that time by Kamada, but it's easily won by Pinnock, who launches the ball down the left-hand side to Matthias Jensen, and that comes off Munaz, and it's going to be a throw into Brentford, almost level with the Crystal Palace penalty area. Jensen just leaves it now, and it's going to be Asia that's going to take this throw in down this left-hand side. He throws it quickly here to Sharda, but Sharda is comfortably dispossessed by Munaz. Munaz keeps possession and drops the ball back there to Edward, and the ball is played forward, and it's won back there really by Jan Elt, and Jan Elt now finds Visser, and Visser to Asia. And now to Sharda. Sharda down the left-hand side. Plays the ball through there to Norgard. Norgard tries to flick the ball through to Visser, and he almost got there in the end, and it came off Visser and went comfortably through to the goalkeeper, Dean Henderson. But, that was a very close for another breakthrough for Brentford. And with 62 minutes gone, we are at 1-1, and here is Eze. Eze plays the ball forward to Edward. Edward tries to pull the ball back, but it's a poor pass, and cutting across there is Royce Lev, who gets in the way of that. And it does go behind for a corner, but a poor pass from Edward, it has to be said. The Crystal Palace are going to reprieve with the corner here. It's 1-1. The Eagles swarming the penalty area. In there is Anderson, Richards, amongst others, all lurking with intent, right in front of the Palace fans in that corner. And coming across for taking is Daniel Muniz, encouraged by the Palace fans just sat there. They know that perhaps having had the ball in the net for the second time, another goal disallowed, that maybe a go-ahead goal is not too far away. Muniz now going to take the corner. As it's short to Will Hughes. Back to Muniz. Is he going to launch the ball into the box now? Or is it back to Will Hughes down that left-hand side? Will Hughes cross to the back post, and it's headed out of play there by Kevin Sharda. And it's going to be a corner to Crystal Palace again, this time from the right-hand side. It's swung in that time by Adam Wharton, but comfortably dealt with. And now maybe Brentford can come away on the break. But Visser gives the ball away. And it's with Tariq Mitchell inside his own half of the field, laid off by Adam Wharton to Anderson. Anderson back to Wharton. Wharton 10 yards inside the Brentford half of the field. He gives the ball there to Hughes. Hughes does a quick 1-2 there with Eze. And the ball now is played long over onto the far side by Richards to Kamada. Kamada back to Wharton with a shot. Good save again by Flecken. And he got down to his left-hand side, made a smart save there. Here's Kamada. Kamada again, down the right-hand side. Slips the ball through there to Wharton. Wharton gives the ball to Muniz. Muniz plays the ball across. And it takes a deflection off a Brentford player and goes behind. I think that one came off Janelt. And it's going to be another corner as Palace now starting to put the pressure on, looking for a go-ahead goal in this game. Good save again by Flecken. He's made one or two important saves in this second half. Corner is going to be taken by Wharton. And it's going to be swung in. It's not the best one, but the header is cleared away. And now Visser is looking to break away, but there's a foul by Kamada. And Kamada goes into the referee's notebook for that hold. It was actually no attempt to win the ball, and it was really not necessary, actually. But yellow card it is, and that's the fourth yellow card for Crystal Palace today. Brentford have had one with Johan Visser in the book. And there's Pinnock, who drops the ball back to Mark Flecken, who gives the ball to Royce Lev. Royce Lev now drops the ball back to Norgard. Norgard gives the ball to Collins. Collins goes all the way back to the goalkeeper. And he holds the ball up here to Dean Henderson. With 25 minutes to go, it's Brentford 1, Crystal Palace 1. And Flecken just lifts the ball there over Kamada. It's flicked on that time by Asia. And here is Jansen. Jensen over the halfway line. He's got options to his right-hand side. Here's Norgard. Gives the ball to Mbweme. Mbweme now for Brentford. Swings the ball in. It's tried to be headed down by Visser. In the end, it's cleared out by Mark Gahey, but only as far as Mbweme again. And now picked up here by the number 19, Mbweme. Just drops the ball down there. And it's picked up down the right-hand side by Mbweme again. Mbweme just tries to play the ball short, but only manages to find Eze. Eze. Good challenge there by the number 22, Nathan Collins. But it's won back again by Eze. Some ferocious challenges going in there now. And here's Kamada down the left-hand side for Crystal Palace. Kamada cuts into the penalty area. Tries to get the cross in, but it's blocked. And Ethan Pinnock now clears the ball away to Norgard. Pinnock will get another opportunity now. Oh, he just gets away from Will Hughes there, and coming in with the challenge is Tyreek Mitchell. And there is some real full-blooded challenges going on right now. Here's Mitchell again, gives the ball to Hughes. Mitchell, oh, really, again, a good challenge that time. Out of play there as Vitaly Yarnalt just gets on the ball on there. And Brentford, in this second half, they've submitted to possession with 62%. In the first half, they had 52% overall possession, but they've definitely allowed Crystal Palace right back into this game. And since the equaliser, Crystal Palace have looked definitely the more threatening team, as we have 22 minutes left to go in this game. And it's Brentford 1, Crystal Palace 1 at the Gtech Community Stadium. Throw-in is going to be taken here. There is substitutes being done by Crystal Palace right now. Action on the bench there. Just can't quite see who it is preparing to come on at this time. As soon as they do, we'll let you know. And here's Tyreek Mitchell. Plays the ball to Kamada. Kamada back to the centre circle and goes back to the goalkeeper, Dean Henderson from Daniel Munoz. Anderson goes back to the goalkeeper and he launches it long downfield. Just tries to flick that on, does Edward to Munoz. Edward finally does get the ball, but he's dispossessed. It's good work there by the midfielder, Kevin Schade. And now Schade has the ball and drops it back to the goalkeeper, Mark Flecken. And time ticking down to find a winner here. Crystal Palace, still time for Brentford to maybe create one or two opportunities. The ball is long. Looking for Schade. Schade heads the ball down well to Matthias Jensen. Jensen swings the ball into the box and it's just cleared away there. And here is Kamada. Kamada is dispossessed though, and Jensen drops the ball back here to Roysled with the shot, and it's a really poor effort. Visser looks furious on the far side, wondering why the ball wasn't played to him, and it's gone behind for a goal kick. And it's coming on, in fact, is Jordan Ayew, another attacking player who is coming on now for Brentford. Let's just, for Crystal Palace. And we'll just see who is coming off. I can only think of it being perhaps Eberici Eze, but he's done quite well today. I'm quite surprised at that. It's actually not. It's Kamada, the man who has made his debut today. He can come off feeling very positive about his performance today. He has done extremely well. And Crystal Palace have picked up a decent signing there. And don't forget, he was completely on the free. From Lazio. He'll be impressed with that performance today, and I suspect his manager will be too, as he takes a rest for the rest of the game. And now it's with Anderson. Anderson plays the ball forward. It's picked up there by Edward and gives it to Eze. Eze looking to set the substitute Ayew off on his way, but it's blocked. And now Adam Wharton picks up the ball. He was dispossessed by Norgard, but it's going to be a free kick, in fact. And Brentford readying a substitution as well. It is the number 24, Mikhail Damsgaard, who could be coming on in just a few moments for the Bees. Be their first substitution of this game. Gahey, Mitchell, Eze, dispossessed there, but won back by Hughes. Hughes gets the ball back again. And it's Anderson. Across to Gahey. Gahey to Munoz. Munoz goes back to Gahey, all the way back to the goalkeeper, Dean Henderson. Henderson launches it downfield. And just trying to win that header there was Jordan Ayew, but it was comfortably won by Pinnock. But it only goes straight to Tyreek Mitchell, who plays it down to Chris Richards. Richards holds the ball up here. He's got options both left and right. Does a quick 1-2 with Jordan Ayew. Ayew gets the ball back. And it's a long ball by Ayew. Oh, really good ball. Finds Tyreek Mitchell down the left-hand side. Mitchell tries to find Edward, but it's a very poor ball. And now Palace can Brentford can break away with Visser. Visser sets off Ambuemo, and Ambuemo plays the ball through to Visser, but that is a really good piece of goalkeeping by Dean Henderson, because he read that one early and he was straight on his way. And Visser is not exactly slow, but Henderson got there first. Just maybe a bit too much on the pass from Mbeumo. But that was a really good, what looked like a really good chance for Brentford to create something. But in the end, it broke down. The pass just wasn't quite there from Mbeumo. And here's Pinnock. Pinnock gives the ball to Norgard, who drops it back to Mark Flecken. And we've got 18 minutes left here. And here's Collins. Gets the ball back, does Collins, and he gives the ball there to Norgard, to Collins. Out wide to Royslev. Royslev plays the ball forward to Mbeumo. Mbeumo tries to flick the ball on, but Hughes comfortably intercepts and gives it to Wharton. 7 attempts apiece, 3 on target apiece. Very even game. Here's Ayew. Corner of the penalty area, left-hand side. Jordan Ayew. Looking for options available left and right. Gives it to Edward. Edward with a shot, but it curls wide of the goalkeeper's right hand upright. And it remains 1-1. So now we're going to see Mikael Damsgaard. And we are also going to see Keane Lewis Potter. And coming on for... coming off there, I'm just trying to see who they are. It's Janelt and Schade that is coming off for Brentford. Janelt and Schade. And coming on is Damsgaard and Keane Lewis Potter. So Mikael Damsgaard wears 24, Keane Lewis Potter wears 23. If you're following along on the pictures and listening to the commentary, Brentford 1, Crystal Palace 1, as Brentford make their first roll of the dice. And Jansen now, Wharton is coming off for Crystal Palace, and coming on is Jefferson Lerma. So quick substitution by Crystal Palace as well. Jefferson Lerma wearing number 8 as Adam Wharton comes off. Probably feeling a little disappointed. He doesn't look particularly pleased. Maybe he's not pleased with having to come off, but I think sometimes in this particular instance, changes are necessary at this point of the game. Brentford 1, Crystal Palace 1. And it goes back to the goalkeeper, Mark Flecken. Flecken, under pressure by Jordan Ayew, just releases the ball there to Nathan Collins, and that's a really, really good pass to Damsgaard. And Damsgaard over the halfway line, he just checks back, and he gives it to Christian Norgard. Back to Damsgaard again. Damsgaard for options down the left-hand side, and the cross coming in and just headed down there. It was the effort there really from the other substitute down that right-hand side, Keane Lewis Potter. Ball goes out of play for a throw-in. And it's going to be taken. It's going to be Royslev that's going to take it. He's sort of left that alone. And it's back now with Damsgaard. Damsgaard drops it back to Royslev. To Lewis Potter. Headed on there and just picked up again by Damsgaard. Palace not struggling to clear it right now. And it's picked up again just on the edge of the area. It's Jensen that time. It's swung into the middle. It's going to break loose here. And here's a chance that it's going to be bundled in by Mbeumo. It's the second. And Brian, is it Mbeumo or is it Visser? It's in fact Visser. It's bundled in by Visser. And Brentford take a 2-1 lead. And it's a very strange goal, to say the least. And Dean Henderson may look at himself for this one, because, again, it's really against the run of play. And Johan Visser just, basically saying a quick prayer. But let's take a look at this. As it looks like from the moment that it's a cross in there, and it just seems to bounce around. And it's Keane Lewis Potter who gets the shot away, and the goalkeeper just doesn't deal with it. The shot wasn't the best, and the goalkeeper doesn't deal with it, and it's bundled in by Johan Visser, and Brentford take a 2-1 lead. That it was actually Nathan Collins, I think, who was there as well. And it was bundled in there by Johan Visser, and Palace will be furious with that. Nobody was close enough to Visser. Henderson didn't deal with it properly, and all of a sudden, what was looking like a good point and potentially a winner now could be staring defeat in the face, and Oliver Glasner will be furious with that. And here's Chris Richards, plays the ball forward, headed down there by Lewis Potter. And it's just is brought down there is Visser again, and it's going to be a free kick. And it was bundled in the strangest of ways. I have to admit, it's a very poor goal to concede. Nobody marking Visser. Henderson didn't deal with it, and Oliver Glasner will be furious with that. Brentford will look at this. If they can hang on to this, as a very good 3 points to begin the season. Keane Lewis Potter flicks the ball on, and it's now found Daniel Munoz. Munoz, good challenge again by Keane Lewis Potter. And all of a sudden, Brentford now looking at a possible 3 points here. Here's Hughes. Hughes lifts the ball over there to to the number 6, Mark Gahey. Goes back to the goalkeeper, Dean Henderson, who lifts the ball upfield. Just trying to win that one is Jordan Ayew, but that is really good defending by Ethan Pinnock, who will be feeling somewhat better now, I should suspect. As here's Visser. Visser tries to flick the ball onto Mbeumo. And the ball is played forward, but it is going to be goes all the way through to the goalkeeper, in fact, Mark Flecken, and he releases it quickly. And here's Christopher Asia. Asia tries to find Keane Lewis Potter, who plays the ball off Munoz there, goes out of play. And, well, it's going to be a throw-in. And Thomas Frank looking a little bit more relaxed, still chewing ferociously. But it's picked up there now by Chris Richards, but the ball rolls out of play. It's going to be a throw-in. About 10 minutes remaining. I'll be giving the player of the match in about 10 minutes' time. And here is Edward, gives the ball to Eze. Eze, just on the edge of the penalty area, gets a shot away, but it takes a block and rolls through to the goalkeeper, Mark Flecken, very kindly that time. The shot from Eze just came off Nathan Collins and rolled through to the goalkeeper very kindly. And here is Asia. And the ball goes off Tariq Mitchell. It's going to be a throw-in. As Nathan Collins has had a very, very good game today, as of most of the Brentford players. Throw-in to be taken by Mads Royslev. And it's given to Norgard. Norgard launches the ball forward. Will Hughes wins it back. And it's played again forward. It's Visser now, just drops the ball back. And it's laid off that time. And it's a giveaway. And Edouard has picked up the ball. And it's a good pass this time to Ayew from Chris Richards. Goes back to Richards. And the ball is played out to the far side to Mitchell. Mitchell to Gahey. Gahey drops it back to Gahey again. And Gahey now picks up the ball. He's midway inside the Brentford half of the field. Back to Anderson. Anderson to Hughes. Hughes inside the centre circle to Richards, and then he gives it to Anderson. Anderson just inside his own half of the field. Anderson again gives the ball out wide to Tariq Mitchell. He just flicks that ball on to Eze. Eze flicks it back to Mitchell. Ball is forward now to Ayew. Ayew. And putting him under pressure there. It finds Eze again. Eze inside the penalty area. Chance for Eze. Takes a deflection. Oh, and good save by Mark Flecken. And that was a match-winning save this time again by the goalkeeper. It was played in here. Eze gets the shot away. Actually takes a deflection as well, which makes the save even better. Took the deflection there off Nathan Collins, but a vital save by Mark Flecken to keep Brentford's lead intact. And he's made a number of good saves in this second half. And the corner is going to be taken here. And I'm just trying to see whether it looks like it's Jefferson Lerma who has gone over to take that. And now the referee has gone over to talk to some of the players here who seem to be messing around. It's actually not going to be Jefferson Lerma that's going to be taking it. It's going to be Tariq Mitchell, actually, that's going to be taking this corner. And some more shoving going on. I think that's what the referee's trying to avoid. Tariq Mitchell may play it short to Will Hughes, who's waiting there as well. It's a poor corner by Mitchell, and it's cleared away to the edge of the area to Eze with a shot. Takes one or two deflections on the way through, and I think that's going to be a goal kick. I think it came off a Crystal Palace player last. Offside anyway. And we've got another double substitution here. And it's Frank Onyeka who's coming on for Christopher Asia. So Visser and Jensen are actually coming off. Visser and Jensen are coming off. And coming on, we'll just see who's coming on now, is Carvalho, who's making his debut, Fabio Carvalho, and Frank Onyeka. Now, Crystal Palace also looking like they're making substitutions too. So we're just going to try and see what is going on here. But Carvalho is going to make his debut for Brentford. Carvalho purchased for €23.4 million from Liverpool, and the £50 million man from Crystal Palace, Ismail Assar, is coming on. So Richards and Hughes have gone off. Sarr and Decore have come on, and that is now €15 million purchase for Ismail Assar from Marseille, as he's making his debut now. Decore wearing 28, Sarr wearing number 7, and Fabio Carvalho wearing number 14 and 15 for Onyeka, as it's picked up here now. And it's back with the number 3, Joachim Andersen. Andersen drops the ball down this near side to Muniz. Muniz infield to Lerma. Back to Jefferson Lerma again. And the ball is played long, and it's just headed back to the goalkeeper by Nathan Collins. So, as time ticking down here, I suppose I should consider my player of the match very shortly. And I think I'm just going to actually type it into the chat now for Brentford. The ball is picked up here by Tariq Mitchell. Tariq Mitchell playing the ball forward now, looking for Jordan Ayew, trying to be dealt with by Ethan Pinnock, but over there is Edward trying to help out. And it's Jefferson Lerma who wins the ball back. It's Lerma again. Plays does a quick 1-2 there with the substitute, Frank Onyeka. And it's Lerma one more time, Jefferson Lerma. Plays the ball down that left-hand side. And here is the number 12, Muniz. Muniz down to the number 7 here, Ismail Assar, as his first touch really is a Crystal Palace player. And he drops the ball back there to Decore. Checker Decore. And it's now with Andersen. Gives the ball to Muniz. He's got Sarr who makes a run, but the ball goes out of play, and it's going to be a throw-in. It's taken quickly. Muniz again. Drops the ball back to Decore. And here's Lerma. Jefferson Lerma. And picked up there by number 10, Eze. The ball is played forward looking for Edwards. Here's Eze again. Beautiful run by Eze. Gets in the penalty area. Tries to get the cross in, but it's too close to the goalkeeper, Mark Flecken. And, well, you can see here as it just dances into the penalty area. Eze just showing how dangerous he can be, but the pass was too close to the goalkeeper, and it's cleared downfield. And in about 2 minutes, I'll be naming my player of the match. It's headed on now and picked up by Doucouré. It's got Jordan Ayew alongside him. Jordan Ayew picks it up. Ayew gives the ball back to Lerma. Jefferson Lerma. He's about 35 yards out. That's a really good ball down that right-hand side to Tyreek Mitchell. The ball is swung in by Lerma. Oh, it's touched on and almost turned in by Jordan Ayew. He just got behind the Brentford defence, and that was almost turned in. And, well, it was you would consider it a half chance for a striker of Ayew's experience, but he was not able to divert it towards the goal, followed by Nathan Collins. Well, it just went behind in the end for a goal kick. And Mark Flecken just watches that go behind. And you can see Oliver Glasner here not looking very, very impressed right now. And here is Anderson for Crystal Palace to Muniz. Muniz plays the ball long. And it's just in the middle of nowhere. Ismail Assar is chasing it down. He's very quick. And Ethan Pinnock just deals with that. And a foul on Doucouré by Frank Onyeka, and it's a free kick for Crystal Palace with 2 minutes to go. Player of the match will be announced at the next stoppage of play as Jefferson Lerma plays the ball across to Tyreek Mitchell. And Mitchell gets the ball back off Eze. And Mitchell again tries to get the cross in. Here's Eze with a chance, and it's right at the goalkeeper, Mark Flecken. And we are now going to name the player of the match. And talking about the goalkeeper, Mark Flecken, he is our player of the match today, the Brentford goalkeeper. He's made several important saves in this second half, maintaining it at 1-1, and even making vital saves when the score went to 2-1 to Brentford. So today's player of the match, sponsored by Commentary Services, goes to Brentford's number 1, Mark Flecken. And there's going to be a substitution here. Looks like Ben Mee. Is that Ben Mee coming on? Yes, Ben Mee is coming on. And coming off is Brian Mbeumo. So the goal scorer, Brian Mbeumo, one of the goal scorers, he goes off. And coming on is the former Burnley player, Ben Mee. So that rounds up the 5 substitutes for Brentford. And looks like we're going to figure out the injury time pretty shortly too. As Ben Mee will drop into, no doubt, a position of 3 centre-backs, I should suspect. As Mark Flecken now is going to take this free kick. It's long, as we're about to hit the 90-minute mark and see how much injury time is left. That ball goes out of play from the free kick. 10 shots in the second half by Crystal Palace. They have just the 1 goal to show for it, as it's launched forward and knocked back in there by Christian Norgard. Flicked on here to Doucouré. Doucouré plays the ball. Oh, it's a poor ball, and won comfortably there by Royslev. And back into the Crystal Palace half it goes. We've got 4 minutes stoppage time, incidentally. As here goes Damsgaard. Damsgaard picks it up there to Keane Lewis Potter, and it's given back to Christian Norgard. And there's Aisha. And here's Ben Mee. And there's a foul, actually, and a free kick to Brentford. And it's going to be a yellow card waved in the face of the substitute Jordan Ayew for his part in that challenge. And it's a late one. Just stamps on his foot there. And that is the 5th Crystal Palace player in the notebook today of Sam Barrett. And, well, he might well be looking at that as it's been his movement has been very good since he's come on as Jordan Ayew, but he's not really had much chances. Just the one that he got a touch on and wasn't able to divert it into the net. It's Damsgaard now that's going to take this free kick. Again, it's a very high line by Crystal Palace. And I think at the end of the game here, the cross is coming in. It's headed out. At the end of the game here, Russ is going to come on and give us some team news ahead of the second part of our double header today. Here is the Here is the number 14 for Brentford there. And that is the substitute Carvalho making his debut today, as that ball goes behind for a goal kick as Carvalho appeals, but it's not going to account for anything and it's going to be a goal kick. We've played 2 minutes of the stoppage time and it is 2-1 to Brentford. It's launched downfield. One down there by Frank Onyeka and cleared by Ben Mee into the Palace half of the field. Just storming in there is Damsgaard. Doucouré fighting to try to win that ball, but it's won back in the end, and it's Carvalho who drops the ball here to Christopher Asia to Keane Lewis Potter, back to Ben Mee. Time ticking down here as Mark Flecken comes out to make sure that there's no problems and clears the ball back into the Palace half of the field and out of play, and it's a throw-in. Taken probably just a little bit too quickly there by Muniz, but it goes back to the goalkeeper. The referee allows it, and it's cleared downfield by Dean Henderson. The header won that time by Damsgaard, and now rolling that ball out of play is Frank Onyeka, and it's going to be a throw-in. And it's taken quickly, and Palace trying to keep possession and try to create some chances. Here's Muniz. Muniz gives the ball to Doucouré. Back to Anderson. Anderson holds the ball up, and it's long, played forward, and just headed away. And just flicked on there, but only as far as Jefferson Lerma. And he picks up the ball. And it's a nice pass down this near side to the number 12 for Crystal Palace. And that's Daniel Muniz, lays the ball off to Jefferson Lerma. Lerma tries to play the ball through, but that is well dealt with there by Royslev, and it's cleared downfield. As we've just about played the 4 minutes of injury time, Anderson launches it back into the Brentford half of the field. Oh, it's flicked on, and maybe a chance there for Gahey. Breaks loose for Tyreek Mitchell. Mitchell gets the cross in. It's headed out again by Collins, and that's it. It's full time, and Crystal Palace begin their season with a defeat against Brentford. A goal by Johan Visser on the 76th minute is the difference, which neither the defence nor the goalkeeper dealt with. And Brentford start with a really good 3 points against Crystal Palace. It's full time at the Gtech Community Stadium. It's Brentford 2, Crystal Palace 1. Back to you, Nick.
Thanks, Paul. What a start! That is just the start that Brentford needed after a poor season last year. Any points gained at the start of the season in any sport, let alone football, are crucial going forward into the end of the season. We're just gonna wrap up the game very quickly. Paul James has disappeared. So a fantastic match for Brentford, and as Paul said, Visser's 76-minute goal made all the difference. So Crystal Palace, they had a lot of promise going into the first half with that disallowed but that disallowed goal from Eberishi as a kind of broke their form a little bit, and they started falling apart. So coincidentally it's half time in a League One match. Bolton Wanderers and Wrexham are 0-0. So before we go, we have Ross Vernon with us to give us the team news in the build-up to our second match, Chelsea against Manchester City. Good afternoon, Ross.
Good afternoon, Nicholas. Good afternoon, everybody. Just a bit of headline team news to give you then for both teams today. Chelsea, no place in the lineup or the bench for Raheem Sterling, despite Sterling being fit and available for selection. Front three then of Palmer, Jackson and Kirku, with new signing Keenan Jules-Briol and Pedro Neto and Turson and Rabiot amongst the substitutes for Chelsea today against Manchester City, who star Rico Lewis ahead of Kyle Walker arrived back. England's Kyle Walker, that is. No place for John Stones in the starting lineup. He's on the bench with Akanji and Diaz preferred as centre-back today. And new signing Savinho, who takes Red Moses' own number of 26, makes his Premier League debut in the forward line. Who will come out on top for this game today at Stamford Bridge? Join me very shortly to give you all the build-up and full match commentary from 4:25 as Chelsea start their Premier League campaign against the reigning champions Manchester City, who will be looking to win the Premier League title for a fifth successive season in a row. Became the first club last year to win 4 in a row. Can they go and become the first club ever to win 5 in a row in the Premier League campaign? Just have to wait and see. Join me on 4:25.
Thanks, Russ. And Crystal. One thing I did forget to mention is that Crystal Palace were given a lifeline with that own goal by Ethan Pinnock, but Brentford weren't going to let anything like that get them down. And Visser's goal made all the difference to finish off any Palace hopes. So much to improve for Crystal Palace going forward in this early stage of the season. Much progress has been gained for Brentford, I feel, but I still think they face a very tough season ahead. So that wraps up our coverage. On the Commentary Hub. Do join Russ Vernon later on for Chelsea against Manchester City in 25 minutes. And also tonight, and also tomorrow night, I should say, the last season's championship winners, Leicester City, take on Tottenham Hotspur. Join Mike Harneman for that one, but just before 8:00 with Russ and Paul on commentary duties. That's it for now. So from myself, Nicholas Jones, Paul James, and Russ Vernon, until Chelsea against Manchester City, goodbye for now.